Hello, everyone, and welcome to the January 13th, 2015 episode of Balls Deep Sports Talk. With me, your once again Hump Day hero, your host with the almost, Scotty Ball. Thank you so very much for tuning in this week, as hopefully you do each and every week, and you would currently be doing that on one of three platforms. That would be either SoundCloud, YouTube, or my personal favorite, the free Spreaker app. No matter how you're finding the show, thank you so very much for finding the show. Hopefully, in the not too distant future, we are up and running once again on the TuneIn app and our birthplace home for the show, WNLMradio.com. In the meantime, to stay up to date on all things that are happening with the show, as well as my thoughts and takes on current sports news and events, please follow the show on Twitter at BDST Show. Again, our Twitter handle here is at BDST Show. And you can also like and friend me on Facebook. Simply search Scotty-Ball. You'll see the green Balls Deep Sports Talk logo, at least until I, change it to the goalpost hanging left for a little while. But anyway, thoughts on that here momentarily. But so again, I really encourage you to become a full-on member of the Balls Deep Army by, connecting with the show on social media via Twitter and Facebook, and continue to find the show however you're finding it now, and let people know about the show. That's the only advertising we have here for Balls Deep Sports Talk, is your word of mouth. So I appreciate you passing on the good word to other sports enthusiasts who you think may love or hate the show. It don't matter. Just let people know. All right. So our outline for the show this week, I'm sure you can guess a good majority, or portion at least, of this week's content. Primarily, there's going to be a lot of football talk, obviously, as the first round of the playoffs was underway this past Saturday and Sunday. It included my, and possibly, hopefully not your, Minnesota Vikings losing in heartbreaking fashion 10-9 at home to the Seattle Seahawks. Rest assured, I am fairly recovered. I am, somewhere between steps, 5 and 7 in Paul Allen's, stages of grieving, Vikings-related grieving process. So, I'm doing pretty good. But you will get my complete breakdown. I put myself through watching the game again a second time, watching plays over and over in some instances, to pick apart exactly what went wrong, what all went wrong, I should say. And so for one final time this year, I will be giving to you my wisdom in my film analysis of this past week's Vikings game. And from there, we are going to branch into new, dangerous, uncharted territory here on the show. We are going to attempt to have our first ever game of any kind here on Balls Deep Sports Talk. Don't get too excited. It's not going to be like crazy fun or entertaining or anything like that. But hopefully, with some tweaking and with some interaction from you guys, maybe it will become our signature trademark game here on the show, because it seems like, sports talk radio, you got to have some kind of game every once in a while at least. So I've got one, and it is in regards to explaining the Vikings' heartbreaking loss this past Sunday to the Seattle Seahawks. And then when we're done crying about the Vikings, yelling, screaming, laughing, what have you, the whole gamut of emotions, when we're done with the Vikings, of course we will take you around the rest of the NFL and discuss what happened in the other games this past weekend, and we will, of course, then preview, analyze a little bit, and pick this upcoming's divisional rounds week's worth of games. Excuse me. We'll also catch you up on NFL news, such as new coaches being hired for new teams, and the big A-topic story of the day, nationally at least in the sports world, is that the city of Los Angeles will be the home of at least one new NFL, well, I shouldn't say new, but one NFL franchise beginning, I want to say next year, this coming season. And then a second could join as early as 2017. But so you will get all the news on that, who it is, how that all unfolded. It was a very back and forth, up and down, crazy kind of whirlwind thing. A lot of people ecstatic about it, a lot of people very upset about it. So you will get the whole LA football story as well. And then to conclude our NFL football talk on the show here, we are going to have another first time for us here on the show, and I hope you like this one as well. I very much enjoyed compiling it and doing it for you. But this past week, I believe it was like January 7th or January 8th, the Associated Press released its All-Pro team, which is kind of like the Pro Bowl team or the All-Star team, except, you know, it's not two teams worth of people and you don't play the game. It's just, you know, it's like the All-NBA first team where they pick one center, two forwards, and two guards. You know, it's just like that, where they just pick the best of the best at each position, basically. So I will let you know, like, of course I will share with you who really made the All-Pro team. But that's not where the fun, exciting part is. The fun, exciting part is I'm going to give you what it should have been. And, of course, what it should have been is what I think, obviously. So, we are going to be giving you our first ever annual NFL Scotty Ball Pro team. That's right. The Ball Pro team, the Scotty Ball Pro team for the 2015 NFL regular season. And then just when you'll have thought, I should say, that the football has to have ended, oh no, there is college football to discuss, as the national championship game was played 2 nights ago, as I'm recording this here Wednesday, January 13th, 2015. On Monday, January 11th, 2015, the college national championship game was played between the number 1 seed Clemson Tigers and the number 2 seed Alabama Crimson Tide. And let's just say, in shocking Alabama game fashion, there was little defense to be found from either team. It was a very high-scoring affair, close, back and forth, entertaining, and you will get the story as well as my thoughts and feelings on that as well. Then, when we are finally done talking all things football, we will do some balls on ice, get you caught up with what's going on with my and possibly your Minnesota Wild, as well as taking a quick look around the league in the NHL. We will do the same for the Minnesota Timberwolves and the NBA, taking a look around the league as well. They, in fact, are playing tonight. I am watching them as I am recording this. They are in Houston facing the Rockets. They started out with the lead 2-0, so that's huge for them. To say at least that in one point in time in a game they had the lead. That's a big accomplishment, step forward here. But we'll check in on the T-Wolves, not just what's going on with their game tonight, but primarily on what's going on with their season. And like I said, take a look around the league. We will also take possibly a brief glance at the college basketball world, see who's in the top 25, and what the heck's going on with the Gophers men's basketball team, if they even, claim to have one yet. Ouch, yeah, I know, that was rough, sorry. We'll take a little bit of look in the world of golf as the PGA season has officially begun again for the 2016 year, and it starts right where it left off with Jordan Spieth being head and shoulders above the rest of the golfing world. We will discuss a brief amount of tennis, as I believe the Australian Open begins very soon. We will talk a couple UFC fighters, as well as a boxing fighter, their individual news, and the news that ties them all together. And then, as we do every week, we will discuss some pro wrestling, primarily WWE, because it's my show and I do what I want. Alright, well, now since you know all the topics that we have planned here to discuss on the show, and since it is likely going to take a significant amount of time for me to at least remotely feel that I have adequately vented and relayed and explained my thoughts and feelings on everything that we have to discuss this week, let's get down to it. Let's not waste any more time. So we get to our hit opening segment. Everybody say it with me right now. 3, 2, 1. Balls on fire. What has got me, yours truly, Scotty Ball, the most on fire this week? And I think there's no, everybody wins if you're playing the Balls Deep gambling game, as some of the Balls Deep Army members do every week. They place their bets after I've said all the topics on the show for what will have the honor of being the Balls on Fire topic. And I think, we'll just give everybody a freebie this week. It should be that obvious. And in that way, we'll be the yang to the Powerball that's going on tonight as well. Good luck, by the way. If you win, please just, mail me like $500, and that would just, that'd be sweet. Nothing much, just $500. If you win $1.5 billion, I'm just asking for a $500 courtesy check, and send one to everybody, in the whole entire state of Minnesota while you're at it. But the grand reveal of this week's Balls on Fire topic is, to no surprise, the Los Angeles Rams. St. Louis Rams moving to Los Angeles. Yeah, right. Are you kidding me? Got you. This is my show, man. This is not some corporate, Espen or Keffin or Fox Sports, puppet show of any kind. No, sir. This is 100% independent. And that, of course, means, if you know me, that Balls on Fire this week is going to be long and big. That's right, it's going to be big and long. And it is going to be all about this past Sunday's Minnesota Vikings game, where they lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Seattle Seahawks, the back-to-back defending NFC champions, by a final score of 10-9. Where to begin in the retelling of this epic tragedy that is what we should all come to be, familiar with as just regular old every year Vikings football. But I think where we start is right at the very end, and then we'll kind of go back to the beginning and work our way through it, and then what to take away from it, and where to go with what we take away from it. If you heard the final play call, or, well, not technically the final play call, but the, second to last final play call in the Vikings game from the world-renowned, extraordinaire, as good as it gets, play-by-play commentator, radio commentator for the Minnesota Vikings, one Paul Allen. When the kick went up, Walsh missed the kick, He goes,